If I make this decision, will it derail my life? Have I been on the right track? Have I made too many wrong decisions to be on the right path? Have I waited too long? What will happen if I do this? Who am I? If you're questioning whether you're on the right path right now, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Abby Drew. Welcome to my channel. On my channel, we talk manifestation, spirituality, some science stuff, and also I do tarot and guidance cards readings here on my YouTube, TikTok, and personal readings on my website, moonandmoonthings.com. You can also ask me any manifestation question through my website or in the comments below. Okay, let's get into it. So today we're talking about, am I on the right path? As a tarot and oracle card reader, that is one of the most common questions I get asked to read for is, am I on the right path, Abby? Am I doing the right things? Am I making the right decisions? So today we're going to explore the idea of, am I on the right path? We're going to explore why you're even asking if you're on the right path, what may have led you to believe that you're not on the right path or to be unsure about it. We're going to talk about, what do we mean by the right path? What is the right path for us? I'm going to tell you my own personal story about how my path has gone, how it's changed, moments where I had doubts, and we're going to explore my story and hopefully it'll help you understand where you're at in your own story. And finally, we're going to finish with, is there any such thing as the right path? And if there is, how do we get onto it? How do we make sure we're living the most aligned, highest life for us? Firstly, before we get started, I want you to know that you are a divine spiritual being living a human experience, that there is no judgment here about where you are at in life, where you're going, where you want to go, and that you are loved and you are worthy of your highest timeline. So why are you asking if you're on the right path? There may be many different things, triggers that can lead us to questioning, are we on the right path? Some signs that we believe tell us if we're on the right path or not can be, are we making progress or is there a lack of progress? For example, are we moving up in the job that we're in, or have we been stuck in the same job for too long, having very little achievements in the recent months or years? Progress versus lack of progress is some sign that we sometimes cling on to about whether we're on the right path or not. Other pieces of evidence that we use to decide whether we're on the right path or that may have us questioning if we're on the right path is comparing ourselves to others. Maybe there's your peer groups of people your age or people younger than you. Maybe they're getting married, they're buying homes, they just got a proper job, they're adulting better than you, and you're comparing yourself where you're at to where they're at, and it's making you feel like you're not in the right place or where you're meant to be, that you're behind in life, that you're too old to be living the way you're living. Whatever it is, comparison to others can be one way that we're triggered into asking ourselves if we're on the right path. Another sign or reminder that makes you question whether you're on the right path is if you're feeling disconnected with life. Maybe you're not as enthused. These can also be similar signs to depression as well. So if you are experiencing some of these, please look into that as well. So dissatisfaction with life, not enjoying things as much, not having a sense of direction, feeling like your life, so your job, where you live, your friends, your relationships, etc., how you look, don't reflect your inner being, your inner world, or who you want to be. That disconnection with life can have us questioning whether we're on the right path. This leads me into the next one, which is not having a sense of direction for where we're going or what we want in life. So if you may be okay with where you're at in life right now, but you can't see where you want to go. You don't have a strong desire or direction for your future, and you're not sure what the next step is. This can make you question whether you're on the right path because you can't see the path that you're on. The fifth thing that may lead you to asking whether you're on the right path or not is a fear that you're not on the right path. What is this fear? Let's explore it. So I think the idea here is that if you're on the wrong path, then you won't have the life that you desire. You won't be happy in life, that you'll fail. If you're a spiritual person, you may believe that you will fail a soul mission, that you'll be stuck reincarnating on earth. If it's not spiritual, maybe it's, if I'm on the wrong path, I'm not going to meet the right partner for me because I'll be in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, meeting the wrong people. I'll never be financially secure or abundant because the universe wouldn't bless me if I was doing the wrong thing. And I'm never going to feel satisfied with life because I'm not aligned with who I am or who I was meant to be. And these fears of being on the wrong path can keep us questioning, am I on the right path, and make us sometimes even obsess with being on the right path. I'm going to give you a little secret. Only 2 of those 5 things actually matter when it comes to questioning and evaluating whether you are on the right path in life. So what do we mean actually when we say the right path? Do we mean destiny, that our life was written in the stars before we came here and that there's one right way to do it? That is Quinn over there. We came here to earth as infinite spiritual beings, as fractions of the one cosmos, incarnating here to experience having free will, to experience material life, human existence. Some people believe in the idea of soul missions or soul contracts. And these are not like assignments from a teacher who's going to scold you if you don't get it in on time or scold you if you don't do it correctly. The universe watches us with love and curiosity in our life, kind of like how we watch pets. And they don't know what they're doing, but they're very cute. And I believe that that's how the universe looks at us, with love and curiosity, and just wants to watch us live our lives and explore. I believe these soul missions or soul contracts merely manifest as urges or inspirations to go to certain places, meet certain people, talk to certain people in order for you to fulfill them or to be led down a specific journey. Obviously, we can ignore those urges and inspired moments, and that's totally fine. We have free will and we came here to experience free will as well. And if you believe in destiny, you either believe that and if you believe in destiny, you either believe that there's nothing that we could do that couldn't be a part of our destined path, because destiny says that there's one path ahead of us. And if you believe that we have free will and we can choose to be on our destiny or not, then we always have the free will, the freedom to choose another choice, to get back onto our path of destiny if that's what you believe. Do we mean, when we say the right path, do we mean a conventional idea of success that has been taught to us through society, religion maybe, and through other people, through media? When it comes to this, remember that one size doesn't fit all. And you probably know, even in your own life, 5 different people who are living their lives 5 different ways. Maybe they went to uni later in life. Quinn drinking water. See, we look at her with love. Maybe they went to university later in life. Maybe they didn't go to university at all. Maybe they had kids before they got married. Maybe they didn't get married or have kids at all. Maybe they spent their life traveling. Maybe they settled down in one place. We are all living life in so many different ways, and neither way is right or wrong. Think about some of the most successful people that we know of. The only one I can think of right now is Steve Jobs. I don't know why I can't think of anyone else, but these people, they often have a story of when they started on their mission, their journey of whatever thing they became successful at, that people laughed at them, people told them that they were losers, they wouldn't amount to anything, that they were ridiculous and stupid for thinking that this would work out for them. And then they get successful and it's like, whoa, they were doing it their own way the whole time and it worked out for them. Some people have their big break later in life. Some people have their calling later in life. There's even no right way to have conventional success. So maybe perhaps we just mean a life where our basic needs and our complex needs are being met. Maybe that's what we mean by the right path. Maybe when we're talking about being on the right path, we're simply talking about our life meeting all of our needs, our basic needs and our complex needs. You've probably heard about this before. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So we're starting with, does our life meet our physiological needs? So clean air, clean water to drink, food, shelter, clothing, we're getting enough sleep. As we go through this, I want you to think about your own life and what needs are being met and what needs need a little bit more of attention. I heard this thing and I love this quote, this idea, and it reminds me every time I have a little moment, I think of this and it really helps me like detach. It's, if you hate everyone and you're mad, if you hate everyone and you're mad at everyone, you probably need to eat something. And if you hate yourself and you think everyone hates you, you probably need to get some sleep. And that just epitomizes how a lack of sleep can really frame and distort our mental capacity and our mental picture of the world and what's happening and how we frame things. Sometimes a little bit of sleep is all we need. The second level is that you're safe, so that you have personal security, you feel safe, you have employment, you have resources, you have an ongoing sense of safety financially, in your shelter, that you'll have food security, etc. So this is kind of going forward, that you feel secure and you can foresee being secure in the future as well. Maybe some of these you're not meeting now. Maybe you are living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're not sure how you're going to pay rent next month. Maybe that's a need that needs to be met right now. Then we have love and belonging. That's friendship. We can have emotional intimacy with others. We have a family that is around us. Maybe we're connected with family. And there's a sense of connection and belonging with our community, our family, our friends, wherever we live, at our workplace, wherever we're surrounded with people, we feel like we belong there. It doesn't mean you have to get along with everyone, but it means that there are people that you can connect with on a deeper level. Then we have esteem. So this is respect, so people respecting you, you respecting yourself, self-esteem as well, valuing yourself, feeling a sense of achievement, status, and recognition, and having the freedom to do what you like and feeling free and like your own person in the world. The final tier of needs is self-actualization. That is desire to become whoever you want to be. So when we're talking about, am I on the right path? That's normally the idea that we're talking about. Am I on the right path? Am I actualizing who I am meant to be? Am I on the way to being who I want to be, etc.? As we've gone through this list, you may notice that there are some needs lower down that are not being met, but there are higher needs that are being met. It's not necessary that 100%, 100%, 100%, and then you build your way up. It can be different needs all over the place that may need a little bit more of attention. Another way is, do we mean that we're on track to achieving our goals and desires? For this one, it's about using our willpower, our determination, maybe our manifestation powers to achieve our desired outcomes. Being on the right path would mean that we're on track to achieve those goals. That's probably the simplest idea of the right path. I'm now going to share my own story from the past 10 years of my life. And I'm hoping that you hearing this will help you if you're in a stage of questioning whether you're on the right path, if you're feeling uncertain about life, if you're feeling like you're on the wrong track, if you took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm hoping that hearing my story allows you to know that it is possible to change your life. Maybe that you've always been on the right track as well. It may even inspire you and make you feel optimistic and excited about your own life and your own journey. So let's get started. My story starts between the ages of 16 and 20. I struggled with severe clinical depression and some anxiety as well. And it was so severe that I could not see my future. I couldn't picture myself being happy. I thought I would never find happiness or joy, or even just feeling okay with life, with being me in the future. I had no vision of the future. I hated being me. I felt itchy in my own skin. I felt a lot of pressure to be specific ways for certain people, and I felt very trapped, like I wasn't being me. I felt like a sort of a ghost, or like the real me was like inside, and there was like I was like a little puppet, and I wasn't being authentically me at all. So I felt that disconnection with life severely, and I had that lack of a future perspective as well. You know, I doubted whether I would ever have love, like romantic love. I had goals, and despite them stemming from my interest in maths and science, they really came from a place of fear and ego, of me needing to prove myself, of me needing to earn attention and love and respect from others as well. I think they were all driven by a need to prove that I was good enough and that I was worthy of good things and worthy of attention, worthy of love. So that was a very significant proportion of my life. Not only was it in my formative years, but it was pervasive for those 4 years. And I honestly didn't know how my life could get out of that situation. Between the ages of 20 to 24, I was at university. I was studying a degree in maths and physics, and I had tethered my identity onto my academic interests and my academic success. And this also was tied up into my sense of worth and worthiness, if I was interesting and worthy of attention, etc. I've always had an interest in a creative side. I took a gap year and was very creative. I've created an oracle deck, a tarot deck. I'm doing this. So I have two very different sides, well, that I always saw as two very different sides. I had also gotten into spirituality by this time as well. I'd always sort of been interested in it because my family was always interested in it. So I learned things from my parents and my sister. So I was also going along that journey as well. And it was making me question everything in my life. I really struggled my direction because I really wanted to do both. I considered switching to a double degree. I considered quitting altogether. I considered, running away and joining the circus, etc. But I was stuck on I've spent so much effort and time on this. And by the time I was ready to accept that I wanted to do something not different, I wanted to continue what I was doing, but add something new in, whether doing a double degree or what have you, it was too late. The cutoff had gone. I was too far into my degree by the time I had accepted what I wanted to actually make that change at that time. I was feeling like I had lost touch with that other side of me, and I was also losing I don't know if I was losing interest, but I was losing connection with the Abbey that wanted to do maths and physics. I felt like it was suffocating me. It wasn't enjoyable anymore. To mitigate this, and what improved parts of my life was I joined clubs and classes that empowered my creativity and supported that. I joined the dance club. I started pole dance classes. I started acting classes as well, and these were all really beautiful community experiences to build that belonging and to build a different sense of identity as well. I made great friendships and I nurtured them, and so I felt a sense of belonging in lots of other areas of my life, but I couldn't get past this, like the main area of my life. What I was doing with it was not sitting right with me. Between the ages of 24 to 25, I had started a master's in mathematics, and I ended up quitting halfway through. I had done half the degree, and I was like, I have to call it quits. I was absolutely miserable doing this degree. I lost interest with beautiful maths, and it has a very soft spot in my heart. But studying it and where I was at in my life, it had sucked all the fun out of it for me. I didn't want to be what I thought I wanted to be anymore. And it was quite difficult to accept that and accept that I was going to sort of walk into the unknown, a path that I hadn't imagined before in my life. But the pain of continuing where I was at was too much for me to bear, and so I had to quit. And the relief I felt after withdrawing my enrollment, it was scary, but I was like crying. I was crying every week about uni. I felt like I was walking myself into a brick wall, walking myself into a life of boredom and dissatisfaction, maybe financial security, but at what cost? By this time, I had learned that I was not a maths, physics person or a creative person, that it wasn't black or white. I had accepted that I had multiple sides to myself, and they all deserved acknowledgement, they all deserved attention, and they all deserved value. One of my biggest struggles was, who am I going to be if I'm not a maths and physics person? Like, who am I? And I had learned, one, through my hobbies, through my psychologist with counseling, through friends, my partner at the time. I remember one of my friends, I told her, I was like, this might shock you, but I'm actually going to quit my master's. And she was like, obviously, Abby, you should have done that ages ago. Like, she knew me so well. And it was so interesting that she could see something that I couldn't see for ages. Having that support was really beneficial as well. And so that's why I'm so glad I built those sense of belonging and those other areas of my identity previously, is it helped me transition when I had to let go. I didn't even have to let go. I'm still a maths and physics person. I still enjoy it. I do maths for fun sometimes, but it helped me not see a loss in my identity when I made that change. I'm 26 now, and despite going through a breakup earlier this year, having my parents' gentle pressure with their questions of, so Abby, what's the plan? Despite seeing my peers, people younger than me, my age, getting married, buying houses, getting promotions in their super serious jobs and whatnot, having babies, I have never felt more aligned with my life. I have never felt more on track. I've never felt more optimistic about my future. And I put this down to my authenticity that I built. I put this down to self-belief and my growth mindset. And I also put it down to my belief that I make my own future. The keys for me have been authenticity, about always showing up as the person who I want to be, and accepting that sometimes people won't like that and they don't have to get it, but I have to get it and I have to do it for myself. The other key is believing in myself. If I believe that I have the ability to achieve my desires, or I have the ability to work towards my goals, that I'll figure it out one way or another. Maybe I don't know the answers now, but I can figure them out later. I also have this mindset that even if I make the wrong choice now, I can always make another choice later. Like with my degree, I was like, look, I want to quit now. And if I want to go back, I'll just have to reapply later. And so having the mindset that whatever choice you make now, you can always make a new choice later, believing in yourself and focusing, centering authenticity and alignment with self helped me on this journey. I think that's what's brought me to where I am now. Feeling like I'm on the right path, knowing that I'm on the right path because I'm creating my path and I feel aligned with it. I've come the longest way since I was 16 years old. And despite it being very challenging for some parts of it, I wouldn't change a thing about it. Every moment along that path, that story that I just told you, and obviously that was an overview, a snapshot. Every point of that story led me to where I am now. It led me to learning things. It led me to making mistakes, it led me to making successes, and it led me to learning about myself and proving to myself that I could do this. So I wouldn't change a thing, even if at some points you might say that I was on the wrong path. Like, based on what I'm doing now, you'd be like, why did you do that degree? based on me doing that degree, you'd be like, why am I doing this now? How do those paths align? But for me, it all makes sense. It all comes together, and it's all created who I am now. I'm on the right path now, and I believe I've always been on the right path. It may not have looked like the right path from the outside, but that doesn't matter, because it's about how I feel, and I feel aligned and I feel secure on my path that I'm on right now. And I trust myself to continue being the person who I want to be and showing up for Abbey. So is there such thing as a right path? You can probably tell by now that I don't believe or subscribe to the idea that we have a right path. However, there are questions of, am I living authentically? Are my behaviors and my choices leading me to the life I want and to the person who I want to be? Do I feel aligned and satisfied with life? And do I have an idea about who I am, where I'm going, and my sense of direction? So there's some questions that I would sort of replace with, am I on the right path? Let's dive into them a little bit. Am I living authentically? This means my actions, desires, and choices come from my heart. They are not in response to fears or others' expectations of me. They are to satisfy me, and they come from me alone. This doesn't mean that all your desires have to be selfish, and having desires is not selfish either. Maybe you have a genuine desire to make your family proud, or to buy your mum a house one day, whatever it is. Like, you're allowed to have desires about other people, as long as they come from here and they're not to please others or to get some sort of validation from others. So that's what we mean by, am I living authentically? That my desires, my choices, and my actions and goals, they come from my heart. Are my behaviors leading me to what I want and who I want to be? My behaviors, my actions, and choices are aligned with who I want to be and with my desired reality. They do not contradict what I say that I want. For example, maybe you say, oh, I want to save, I want to buy a house next year. And you know that to do that, you would have to save money. So a contradicting behavior would be spending unnecessary money on like clothing, like a new top, maybe buying a croissant when you get a coffee as well. That would be behaviors that contradict the thing that you say that you want. So we want to make sure that our behaviors and our choices are aligned and they do not contradict what we say that we want or who we want to be. If you say that you're someone who wants peace in their life, who wants love in their life, joy in their life, and yet you surround yourself with negative stories, maybe you reinforce the idea that people are horrible, that the world is mean. If you're looking for peace and yet you seek out drama and gossip, those behaviors are contradicting the thing that you say that you want. Someone who wanted to live in peace and wanted to live in love would love others, would share peace with others, would try and make peace, forgiveness, acceptance with others, would give love freely to others, because knowing that that will return back to them. That would be an aligned way to live. Next we have, do I feel aligned or satisfied with the life that I am living or who I am being? This means that my inner being is happy and at peace with where I'm at. I have a sense of peace and excitement about where I'm at and where I'm going in the future, and I don't wish to escape or to live a wildly different life. So you're still allowed to want goals, to want things to change. You're not looking to escape your current life. That's how you know that you feel satisfied and you're okay with where you're at. Lastly, do I have an idea about who I want to be or where I want to go, my sense of direction? This would be saying, I know who I am and I know where I want to go. I may not know exactly where to get there yet, but I am willing to take actions towards it and figure it out as I go along. I accept what I want and I know it's my responsibility for myself to go there. Seeing the next step in front of you and knowing that it's up to you to take it, it's up to you to make the life that you want. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you understand where you're at in life and if you are on the right path or not. I hope it made you feel at peace with where you're at, excited about where you're going, and I can't wait to go on this journey of change, of living our best lives together. So subscribe, like this video, comment down below your favorite thing about your life, and I will see you in the next video.